What if you woke up one morning and all your money was gone? Not just yours, but everyone's. The banks are empty shells, the stock market is a ghost town, and the richest nation on earth has suddenly, inexplicably, run out of money. This isn't a movie plot. This happened. In 1929, millionaires became beggars overnight. What if I told you this wasn't just bad luck? It was built into the system. This isn't a story about numbers and charts. It's a story about people, about a dream that turned into a nightmare, and about the day the world woke up broke. Let's go back to the party before the fall, the Roaring '20s. Imagine a time when the future seemed limitless, gilded, and the music felt like it would never stop. This was the age of jazz, of soaring skyscrapers, of brand new automobiles rolling off the assembly line. It was an era built on the illusion of unstoppable progress. Everyone wanted to live like a millionaire, even if it meant buying things they couldn't afford, financed by credit that banks handed out like candy. People were borrowing money to buy more money, believing the ride would go on forever. But beneath all that glitter, a chasm was widening. The gap between the ultra-rich and everyone else grew into a canyon. The country was dancing on the edge of a volcano, and the music was about to cut out. In the 1920s, the stock market wasn't just a business. It was a national obsession, a religion. Everyone wanted in. Farmers, factory workers, teachers, people from all walks of life were gambling their futures on the promise of easy riches. But here's the dirty secret. Most of it wasn't real money. It was built on a mountain of debt. People were taking out massive loans, buying on margin, just to purchase shares. As long as prices went up, everyone felt like a financial genius. But when they started to fall, the confidence evaporated, replaced by pure, raw panic. Then came Black Thursday. The phones on Wall Street went silent. The ticker tapes froze. The screams of traders echoed through the halls. In just 2 days, the market wiped out billions of dollars, the equivalent of trillions today. In one single catastrophic week, America lost more money than it had spent in all of World War I. The collapse didn't stop at Wall Street. It bled into every town, every home. People didn't just lose their investments, they lost their trust, their faith in the very system that was supposed to protect them. Why? Because the banks had been gambling too. They used their customers' life savings to play the same risky stock market game. When the market crashed, the banks went down with it. There was no federal deposit insurance, no safety net, no refunds. Your money was just gone. Imagine the scenes. Desperate lines stretching for blocks outside silent banks. Mothers clutching babies, their faces etched with fear. Men in worn-out suits, their eyes empty, begging for the savings they had worked their entire lives for. In some towns, anger boiled over and people stormed banks with pitchforks. In others, there was just a quiet, devastating sense of surrender. The system didn't just collapse. It vanished into thin air. When Wall Street fell, the sound echoed across oceans, triggering a global domino effect. The United States had been the world's bank after World War I, lending money to a recovering Europe. Suddenly, that lifeline was severed. Factories in Germany, Britain, and France shut down almost overnight. In a panic, nations threw up massive trade barriers, like the infamous Smoot-Hawley tariff in the US, essentially building walls between starving countries. This turned a financial crisis into a global catastrophe. International trade ground to a halt. In Germany, the economic chaos, unemployment, and national humiliation created a fertile ground for extremism to take root, paving the way for the rise of Adolf Hitler. It's a chilling thought. A stock market crash in New York helped light the fire of World War II. While millions begged for help, the leaders in power seemed frozen, paralyzed. President Herbert Hoover believed in rugged individualism, insisting the crisis would fix itself. His response was not relief, but rhetoric. He gave speeches about toughness and having faith in the system that had just betrayed everyone. There was no stimulus, no federal aid, just hollow words. As a result, unemployment skyrocketed to an unimaginable 25%. Families were evicted, and shantytowns, grimly nicknamed Hoovervilles, sprang up in the parks and forgotten corners of every major city. The irony was gut-wrenching. Men who once owned factories now stood in soup lines, hoping for a crust of bread. In the supposed land of plenty, people began to starve. You can measure the stock market crash in dollars, but you can only feel the Great Depression in tears. For farmers, the economic disaster was compounded by an ecological one. A historic drought turned the Great Plains into a wasteland. The Dust Bowl arrived, apocalyptic black clouds of dust that swallowed entire towns, burying homes and hopes. Families were forced to abandon their land, packing their few belongings into rickety cars and heading west, becoming migrants in their own country. They chased a rumor of jobs in California, a whisper of hope that rarely materialized. The psychological toll was immense. Suicide rates spiked. People lost not just their fortunes, but their sense of self-worth. And yet, through it all, the human spirit flickered. Communities banded together. Neighbors shared scraps of food. Churches and charities ran soup kitchens, providing a last line of defense against utter despair. America didn't break overnight. It crumbled, family by family in slow motion. So what does this story from nearly a century ago have to do with us? We like to think we're smarter now, that our systems are foolproof. But look around, we still see speculative bubbles, from tech stocks to crypto. We're still addicted to credit and debt. The gap between the wealthiest and everyone else is wider than ever. The same human emotions that drove the 1920s, greed, fear, and the intoxicating belief that this time is different, are still beating in our veins. So the haunting question remains: did we really learn anything from the Great Depression? Or are we just dancing on the edge of a different volcano waiting for the music to stop? History, as they say, doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly punishes those who forget its lessons. If you believe in uncovering the dark truths behind history's greatest triumphs and collapses, then join the Blood and Fortune family. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because here, every story is a reminder that fortune always comes with a price. Thanks for watching.